Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. Today we're looking at evenly spacing diverse objects along a path in Adobe Illustrator. So I have a series of objects here. If you're interested in how I got them in Illustrator, there's a link to a video up here in the top corner. These are from Photoshop. I had these shapes in Photoshop. I brought them into Illustrator and I show you in that video how to do just that. But I'm going to put all of these shapes along a path in Illustrator. So I'm going to draw my path with the pencil tool. If I double click on it, you'll see that it's set to smooth to get rid of any wiggles because I'm drawing my path with my mouse. And so I'm just going to draw a very simple path here, and I'm going to flip the fill and stroke so it's just a stroked path. Now I could edit the path at this stage. I can edit it later on, doesn't matter too much. I'm going to grab my shapes. Let's just have a look at the layers panel. You'll see that each of these shapes is just a compound path in Adobe Illustrator, exactly as you would expect them to be. So let's go and grab all of these shapes, and there's a new tool in Illustrator 2025 called Objects on Path. And I'm just going to click that to go into Objects on Path mode. Now I can just hover over my path and click on it. And the objects are automatically put onto that path and evenly spaced along it. Now you can change your path if you want to by going to the direct selection tool. Make sure you click on the path and then you can make changes to it. Just want to make sure I've got the path selected here and not the duck. So we can alter our path, but with the selection tool selected, if we click on the path here, you'll see that we've got some widgets here. So there's a widget here, there's one here, and there's one down here. Now the rotate all option is going to rotate these shapes around. If you want to rotate in a constrained manner, for example 15 degrees, you can just hold the shift key as you do that, and then the angle will be limited to 15-degree increments. I'm going to leave my shapes as they are. This is a spacing one, so adjusting this will move the animals along the path. They can't go off the end of the path, but you can shorten their arrangement by jamming them closer together. But as soon as they reach the end of the path, that's it. Now there's this option, which is a select move, and you can use this to move an animal or move a shape along the path. Now if I just move this duck closer to the donkey, nothing's actually going to happen because the whole purpose of this tool is to evenly space things along a path. But what I could do is reverse the order of the duck and the donkey by moving the duck ahead of the donkey, and now the donkey has taken that place. It's also possible to go into isolation mode here. Let me just rearrange my screen a little bit better so that we can get a little bit closer to what's happening over here. With the selection tool selected, I can double click on a shape on the path to go into isolation mode. So you can see here that I've only got the cat selected. Well, that means I can resize the cat by just dragging on the corner handle. It also looks like I can rotate the cat by just changing its rotation here, but that's not going to work. It's actually just going to jump back to what it was previously. Once we're done, we can just click on the back one level. You can just press escape to get out of isolation mode. So our cat grew bigger, but it hasn't been rotated because it's simply not possible to rotate it individually. Now there is one other feature of the spacing tool that's not immediately apparent, and that is that you can use the spacing tool with the Alt or Option key. And so instead of it behaving like this when you just use it by itself, if you hold down Alt or Option, then you will be dragging the shapes into the middle of the path, so they're going to be closer together in the middle of the path. So you can adjust their spacing along the path if you want to, bringing them in from either end by simply using the space option, but this time with the Alt or Option key. Now there are a couple of other things to be aware of with this tool, and one is that unlike, for example, type on a path, the path isn't swallowed up by this process, so the path remains as it was previously. which means that you can change its color. So in this case, I actually had it blue because I wanted to be able to see it. But if I don't want to be able to see the path, but I still want to use it obviously as a path, then I can select it in the layers panel here, and I can make sure that it has no stroke. And now we can see the animals along the path, but we can't actually see the path, although the path is of course holding this whole thing together. And then there's also the question of what happens if once you've done this, you want to be able to get the objects out of here. So you want to have used the tool to make the arrangement, but having done that, you now want to deal with them independently. Well, that's possible to do. All you're going to do is make sure that you have the object selected here, and you're going to Object and then Expand. We're just going to click to expand the object but not the fill. And then we should have individual shapes here in the layers palette. They're just in a group, but they're no longer part of this path tool. So when I select on them, you'll see that there's not the widgets available. It's just a path, which we can turn off or not as we wish, and a series of animal shapes just positioned inside the Illustrator document. We can do whatever we like with them now without breaking the object, because the object has already been broken. If you like carefully researched content like this, clearly presented in a step-by-step format so that you can get great results, then you'll love my Skillshare content. I'm a Skillshare top teacher. I have hundreds of short courses on Skillshare that you can access, along with thousands of other great courses, all for the price of a single subscription. If you're interested, there's a Skillshare coupon for you in the description below to use to sign up. Using this coupon benefits me as a creator, and it helps me continue to make free content available here for you also on YouTube. Thank you for joining me for this video tutorial. On the screen now, you'll see a video that I've hand-picked for you. If you enjoyed the video you've just watched, I know that you're going to really enjoy the one I've picked for you to watch next.